Hello everybody, welcome back to Contour. Right, today I'm going to show you the Arrowe tool, the Arrowe shape tool. So I'll go into the spectrum workflow, where we can also show you briefly how to apply colour to a shape as well. We'll use the Arrowe for that. So click onto spectrum. Right, so on the left hand side toolbar, scroll your mouse or your stylus pen over those that show you what they are, and here we have shapes. I'll click on shapes and the slide bar will come out. You have a number of other with the number of your shapes you've got in there. We have rectangle, circle, ellipse, polygon, star, donut, bow tie and arrow. We'll go through all these further in other videos, but today we'll select arrow. Right, and that presents us with an arrow. So in the right hand properties toolbar, you will see specific tools, and underneath Arrowe's tools. There we have a number of sliders, 9 sliders, where we can change the parameters. So the first one, let's change the tip length. You see, it's changing the tip length. Head width. Tail sweep. And underneath that we'll have shaft length. Shaft width. You can apply a fillet, round it off. That will be handy in the CNC workflow, where you need to get your drill bits right into the corners. If you haven't, if you don't want to use like a very small drill bit, you can sort of fillet these round edges off, round them off, and your drill bit will sweep around them, or your CNC bit, I should say. So we'll just apply a slight fillet here for now. And underneath that we can now bend the arrow. There we go, bend it right back. We can adjust the radius. See that snap there? It's just to stop it collapsing on itself. That was a pain sorting that algorithm out. But here we go, we got that fixed. So yeah, so if you now move the shaft length and things, when it's bent, you'll see it still does all that. We can apply an offset, so we can bring the tail back away from the head. See? And that was the reason, if you watch now, everything's been designed so it can't collapse on itself, see? But yeah, you can basically get any arrow you want out of this. So I like that one. I will now show you a couple of effects. Let's take it into the spectrum workflow area where we apply colour and effects. So we go to the bottom 2 buttons here. The one on the left is to send it to spectrum. That's to export it. Let's apply some colour first. Now we'll click on the shape. Let's just apply a bit of yellow. Make it yellow, orange, green. I like that yellow. Orangey mustard yellow. Let's apply some effects. Click on effects. All your effects are down there. You've got an on and off button. Presets, they're just set preset for now, but you can go in these little drop down boxes on the right hand side and change the parameters. So let's just apply a light and a drop shadow. So I'll now open the drop down boxes for both of those, and you'll see light, shadows in the real world are usually linked. You move your light, you move your shadow, so they're linked. So at the moment, if I increase the intensity of the light, the shadow will increase with it. Same when I move the light. But if I unlink it, it's now unlinked, and move the light, the shadow stays. But if you want to keep it more realistic, you would keep it linked to the real world. There you go. So yeah, you can apply all this stuff if you've got different shapes in. You can, and you're moving your shadows and you don't like the look, you can make one shape object orientated and the other shapes are world space, and that, so you can get all sorts of effect with shadows. But have a play around with that and you'll see what I'm on about. So yeah, basically we've just created an arrow and applied a few effects, and even once it's got its effects applied, you can still go in and change your shapes. And this comes in handy if you're doing designs and you either want to, let me just colour this shape, make it pink for now. And then that's on top, so we've got your layers. Let's just drag that, the arrow on top. There's your shape. Let's just say that was your design or whatever. You can edit it on all in place and see what you want. So let's just say you've got your drop shadow and that on that. You had all sorts of different effects and they were annoying you while you're working. You know, you want them in your final piece, but while you're working, all the shadows and things are annoying you. You can click in the button called Hide Detail on and off on the top right hand side of the properties panel. I'll just click on that now, show you, and look at the shadow. So that'll just take it back to flat images while you're doing your design and working. And then if you want to look what your final piece is going to look like, you know, click it back on. It's entirely up to you. But that's the Arrowe tool basically. Yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll go over some of the other shapes in the upcoming videos. Thanks. Bye.